welcome to Wilderspool Stadium for the World Club Championship Round 2. Penrith Panthers against Warrington Wolves. The Australian side have just taken the field at the moment, gone to the left. A very overcast, dark day here at Wilderspool. It's fairly cold as well. The temperature dropped about 4 to 5 degrees in the past 24 hours. It's raining as we speak at the moment. Penrith Panthers, who had rather a disappointing season in the Australian League last year. I think they were 15th out of 16 teams, but they still will be expected to win here at Wilderspool this afternoon, as Wigan are the only side yet, the only British side to have won, and they won last week in Australia. They're playing the Brisbane Broncos on Sunday, and Warrington, we're still waiting for the Warrington side to come out. It's a Warrington side that shows a number of changes, in fact, from the team that lost to Cronulla Sharks. And we'll give you, in fact, the Penrith Panthers side now. At fullback, Peter Jorgensen. In the three-quarter line, Robbie Beckett, Andrew Hinson, Sid Domick and Ryan Girdler. Steve Carter and Craig Gower at half-back, and in the front row, Cal McNamara, Danny Farr and Phil Adamson. Jody Gill and Danny McGilvray in the second row, and Darren Brown at loose forward. And on the bench for the Panthers this afternoon, Brett Boyd, David Alexander, Bobby Thompson and Brad Dew. And this very talented Australian side, of course, coached by Australian star Roy Simmons. And the team is well known, of course, in Warrington, because an ex-Warrington favourite, Bob Jackson, who played for Warrington at Wembley some years ago, he played for the Panthers in the early 1980s. And we're still waiting for the Warrington side to come out. They have had a bit of a jog around about 20 minutes before they kicked off. And here's Warrington now coming out, led out, in fact, by Wesley Lawless. 11-year-old Wesley goes to Bowler High School, the school I used to go to as well. He's the Wolfpack mascot, and he plays rugby for Grapnell Griffins, and he's hoping that some of his colleagues eventually will come through into the Super League. His favourite players are Richard Inari and Nigel Bagana. We hope he enjoys his day. Well done, Wesley. I'm sure your family are very proud of you, and we hope that Warrington put on a performance for you that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. The Warrington Wolves side, there's no place for Lee Penny. He's injured after the game against Cronulla Sharks, so it's Chris Rudd at fullback. John Roper, Sir Lacey Finau, Nigel Bagana and Mark Foster in the three-quarter line. Kelly Shelford and Lee Breers. At half-back, the front row, Gary Chambers, Willie Swan and Warren Stevens. A welcome return in the second row to George Mann. No Paul Hume today, he's injured. Tony Tutupu joins George Mann in the second row. And the Warrington skipper for this afternoon, Paul Sculthorpe, at loose forward. And on the bench for the Wolves, Tony Thornley, Sean Gerritus, Chris Heighton and Toa Coy-Love, and Warrington kick off. And the Panthers in possession immediately. And as we've said in recent weeks, the Warrington tackling is going to have to be good this afternoon to keep these Australians out. But Warrington have got a chance, of course. And I don't think this Penrith side are as good as some of the other Australians over here at the moment, but there again, you never know. And Warrington really are pleased that George Mann is back in the side, because he's one of the older Warrington players who really is bringing the youngsters on. So Penrith had made a good 20 yards there, possibly 30. Still going forward. Warren Stevens in there immediately. Nigel Bagana as well. But Penrith still in possession. That's the last tackle. Are they going to move it or kick? Probably a kick ahead. Not a very good one at all. Immediately into the arms of the Warrington right winger, John Roper. Bit of a swinging arm there from an Australian player. And it's Sir Lacey Finau playing really in an unaccustomed role in the centre. Takes the ball on onto George Mann. Not a very good big crowd here, probably 3,000 if that. That one goes eventually to Breers. Warrington throwing it around. It's on to Warren Stevens. So the Aussies coming in very quickly. Paul Sculthorpe for the kick ahead. Floats that into the box, taken by Peter Jorgensen at full-back. Warrington chase is good. The Warrington tackling is in fact good there. That was Sir Lacey Finau involved. And the Panthers coming out offside. First penalty of the game to the Australians. But the Warrington tackling good up to now. For the first phase, taken I think by Craig Gower. I can't quite see the number on his back if it's number 17. If it's number 7, in fact, it is Craig Gower, the scrum half. So Penrith Panthers back in possession, making inroads into the Warrington defence. Warrington certainly midweek, I know, have been working on the tackling on the training ground. Good tackle there from Warren Stevens and Tony Tutupu. Penrith Panthers using the narrow side this time. Again, changing the line of attack. That's Jody Gall. Good tackle there from Warrington. Lee Briers gets a bit of a kick on the head. The Warrington tackling good enough here. The Australians trying to change the line of attack, but Warrington moving in quickly. And here's Gill. Half a break from him, trying to get the ball away, but it's clamped. Paul Sculthorpe, in fact. But you see how quickly the Australians play this ball. That's lost, surely. Taken by Paul Sculthorpe. That was on the last tackle. Warrington tackling there was good. Here's Sir Lacey Fee now. This gets out of the 10-yard marker from the try line. Roper coming in as a forward, in fact giving his pack a rest. Doesn't play that ball well. On this time to Willie Swan, the Warrington hooker. The referee telling the Australians to stay on side. Onto Warren Stevens. Good tackle on Stevens. Australian sides, of course, are known for the tackling. A floated kick there into the box again. It's a good one. Peter Jorgensen, the Warrington chase has got to be good enough here. Good tackling there from the Wolves. Keeping the Australian side deep inside their own territory. In the 20, they break out this time, break on here. Not quite certain who it is, but a great tackle. Lovely tackle by the Warrington fullback Chris Rudd. But the Panthers have made a lot of ground there, a good 50-yard break. And there's only 2 tackles gone in this play. Trying to again use the blind side. Warrington tackling good. No score as yet. About 5 minutes gone here at Wilderspool Stadium. Warrington backing off the centres there. That ball goes loose. That will be a knock-on. Mr. Connolly there, the referee. One of the top referees, of course, in the Super League. So Warrington have hit the Penrith Panthers hard in the opening 5 minutes of this game. And it's even Stevens, perhaps territorially. The Panthers have it at the moment. But the Warrington tackling has been good. For Lee Briers to put the ball in for Warrington. Warrington head and ball. Out again on the Warrington side onto Shelford. He changes the line of attack onto Nigel Vergana. Vergana does well. Makes a good 10 yards forward there. Warrington have got to play this ball much more quickly than they have been doing. On to Sculthorpe. Venture onto the Tupu. Back on to Sculthorpe. Good play from Warrington this time. Warrington crowd getting behind them. That must be a penalty, and the referee immediately says that Andrew Hinson, lying on there at the play of the ball. Lee Briers will put this ball into touch, and it's a good kick too. So you can hear the Warrington crowd by the clock near the scoreboard getting behind the team. Warren Stevens loses the ball there to Stevens, trying to get it away. And of course the Australians will attack from anywhere, and that's exactly what they're doing at the moment. Bit of a high tackle there. That was Sir Lacey Fee now. Sir Lacey Fee now involved again. Not offside, says the referee. So Warrington are having a little bit more of the play at the moment, and they've made some good inroads into this Australian defence, but the Aussies have the ball. Break on here, trying to get this ball away. Australians really do move the ball well. Another good tackle there by George Mann. Warren Stevens still trying to get this ball away. Good tackle this time. That's 4 gone in this play. So it's an open game here at Wilderspool. Kelly Shelford misses that tackle, but Tony Tutupu's in to help him. Are we going to see a kick? We may well see one up in the air, and we do. That's a good one. John Roper will take it just short of the try line. Can't keep his footing. But it is fairly even Stevens at the moment. Here's Chris Rudd. Half a break from Rudd. And this time it's Mark Foster coming on his own from the dummy half berth. And Paul Sculthorpe just breaks out of the 20. That's 3 gone in this play. George Mann, he's going to be a handful. He's a handful for most defences in the Super League. He certainly will be this afternoon for Penrith Panthers. Briers, another floated kick. The Warrington chase has to be good. Andrew Hinson going back. Falls over on a very greasy surface here we've got at Wilderspool. There's Vergana. The referee says no, that wasn't a spear tackle. Looked very much like one to me. That must be a penalty. That was a high tackle. I'm not quite certain by whom. It may well have been Warren Stevens, but that was one round the head. And there's an Australian player, looks like Hinson to me, who's on his knees at the moment. He's been winded in that last tackle, I think. Poor kick. Not a good kick from the Panthers there. It's a safe one that only makes about 5 yards. The referee says, just hold on a second, please. There are 2 footballs on the field at the moment. And Hinson, who's obviously got some kind of a knee injury, really has been hurt in that tackle. But Warrington tackling very well indeed at the moment, and they've got to make sure they keep doing this for the whole game, because once the Australians get in front, if they do, well, Warrington are going to have a mountain to climb. But the Wolves are looking good at the moment. That's probably a cue for a break, and there's a break coming on here from the Australians. Is there going to be a try here? Surely one in the corner, and it's going to be Ryan Girdler who will score. A little bit against the run of play, one would add. Warrington missing a couple of tackles centre field, and they go behind by 4 points to 0. But I don't think this Penrith Panthers side looks as good to me as the Cronulla Sharks team did. But there again, they're 4 points to 0 in the lead, and a little bit against the run of play, because Warrington have had a good opening 10-15 minutes to this game. A team meeting just to the left of the posts. I thought that was going to be an announcement over the tennis who scored the try. It looked to me as if it was Ryan Girdler. Not quite certain. So the goal kick is not a difficult one. It's about 15 yards to the left of the posts. Robbie Beckett, in fact, has been announced who scored, with just 10 minutes gone here, 11 minutes possibly. 4 points to 0 in favour of the Panthers, but got a feeling this afternoon that Warrington are going to give a much better account of themselves. Of course, they've had 6 straight defeats. They would love to be the second British side to win in the World Club Championship. Wigan, of course, being the only one up to now, and they're playing the Brisbane Broncos shortly. A 10 o'clock kick-off, I think, tomorrow morning, in fact, and it's on Sky. And here's the kick. Hits the post. 4 points to 0 in favour of the Panthers. They will kick off. It will be the restart for them. But Warrington are looking good with the ball in their hands, and they don't look to me to be overawed as yet by this Australian side, but it's still 4 points to 0 in favour of the team from the Penrith Football Stadium. Bob Jackson's ex-team, of course. And of course, Greg Alexander, the Australian favourite, is a Penrith player. Willie Swan. Australia's coming in very quickly. Willie standing with the referee. Mr. Connolly's telling them to stay on side, but Australian sides do come in quickly. George Mann. Warrington can't get away at the moment. Still on the 20. Willie Swan again at acting halfback. That's on to Sculthorpe. Warrington again kicking. Not on the 5th tackle. That's a good kick. It's going to go into touch. Yes, it does. Shadowed there by Andrew Hinson. He still, to me, doesn't look fit. Took a bit of a bang in a tackle, and he's walking around fairly gingerly, and he's certainly got some kind of a knee injury. His left knee is heavily strapped. So that will be a scrum down. It will be the Australian head and ball, and the Wolves are going to try and keep the Panthers penned deep inside their own territory. The ball goes in, out immediately on the Panthers side. Warrington can't afford to miss tackles. They can't really go too low. They've got to clamp this ball, because Australian teams, of course, are well known for moving the ball in the tackle. Warrington really should tackle, I think, at the chest and try and clamp the ball as much as they can. But it's 4 points to 0 in favour of the Panthers, but the Wolves are not looking overawed at all. Holding that player up, plays it really in an upright tackle. Good tackle there from Chambers. The Australians have made about 20 yards in 3. Again, spinning it onto the open side. Break on here, trying to get the ball away. Again, clamped well by Willie Swan, who since coming back into the Warrington side has looked a very talented prospect. Offside. That was Warren Stevens. I think we could see what was going to happen there. And that was, I think, with 4 tackles gone, so lack of discipline. Ball into touch. Warrington are going to have to defend. And probably only about 3,000 people here, perhaps a few more than that, a couple of hundred more. But Warrington have got to keep this ball away from the Australians. And when the Australians do have the ball, they've got to move in very quickly and make the first tackle count. As they do then. Still moving it along. Warrington not moving in quickly enough. And the Australians are close now. They're only 5 yards from the Warrington line. It's Danny Farrer going on his own. So the Australians will spread this ball now. Short pass. Can they get the ball away? They can. This is dangerous. The next try surely here. And is Beckett going to score again? Yes, he does. Just in the corner. Penrith Panthers 8 points, Warrington 0. Oh, really, Warrington didn't clamp that ball. They allowed an Australian forward to look round to see the options. And eventually, Robbie Beckett again for his second try of the game. It's going to be a difficult kick, but it's 8 points to 0. But looking at the game in the opening 15 minutes, Warrington aren't giving as good as they're getting, actually. And with the ball in their hands, they're looking very talented. But the tackling again is letting them down. They're not clamping the ball as well as they might. 8-0. 15 minutes gone on the watch. A difficult kick here. It's only a metre in from touch. Virtually no wind at all. It's a cold day, very greasy on top. The ball is difficult to handle. The ball placed bullet style for distance. And I've got a feeling that not all is lost for Warrington as yet. We want to see them with the ball in their hand. We want to see them hold the ball and go through every 6 tackle as they can. So not an easy kick. The first conversion, of course, hit the post. Floated in. Is it a good one? And it is a good goal. So Warrington 10 points to 0 down after 15 minutes here at Wilderspool. So long kick from the Australians onto Breers. Breers onto Roper. Bit of indecision there from the Warrington scrum half. Didn't know exactly who to pass that ball on to. Good tackling from the Australians this time on Bob Jackson, on Gary Chambers. Mark Foster. Warrington finding it difficult to get out the 20. Willie Swan this time. On to Stevens. Great tackle on him. And did Stevens lose the ball? No, he didn't. He managed to retain that ball. On to Sculthorpe. Warrington again, you see, are not. In fact, they're kicking on the 3rd and the 4th tackle. Knock on. That's what Warrington are looking for. They're looking for a mistake, and there was one there. And that was Peter Jorgensen, the fullback, who lost that ball. But Warrington kicking on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th tackle. I'd like to see them kicking perhaps on the 5th to try and make some ground with the ball in their hands. But they're 10 points to 0 down already, using the narrow side. Where's that gone? Eventually in the arms of Foster, gone back. A planned move that didn't work to Tupu. Eventually put down. Gary Chambers. Good tackling from the Australians. But there are plenty of gaps on the open side. Warrington are going to have to use it. And there's another try. Surely this is going to be a try under the post to make it 14 points to 0. Really came out of nothing. Lack of discipline from Warrington, throwing the ball around. It went to ground. The Australians moving in very quickly. Ryan Girdler, number 13, under the post. 14 points to 0. Surely it'll be 16 after just 20 minutes play. And it's all gone wrong for Warrington in the past 10 minutes or so. Warrington there with a promising position. Attacking the Australian line. Ball goes to ground. Simple try for the left winger Ryan Girdler, right under the posts. 14-0, surely will be 16. And it's going to be Girdler as well to try and convert his own try. So everything has gone wrong for Warrington in the past 10 minutes or so. Conceded 3 tries. The ground very quiet indeed. No atmosphere here at all. talking before the game with Mike, and we said really that perhaps Wigan supporters should have come down here, St Helens supporters, Oldham supporters, to support Warrington and support Rugby League, but that hasn't happened. And no atmosphere at all. Warrington 16 points to 0 down already. Right between the posts, Warrington 0, Penrith Panthers 16. And one wonders what Paul Cullen, the Warrington assistant coach, is thinking. I can see him just in the dugout at the moment. Always stands up in Kenny Dalglish style. Very rarely sits down, does Paul. And the Panthers again, Australian style, kick deep. This time it's going to be Gary Chambers. But the tackling from this Australian pack is something to behold. On to Roper. Half a break from Roper. Does well. Does well as the Warrington right winger. This time it's Mark Foster. So the two Warrington wingers in evidence and making good ground. Good yardage there. Australians holding on a little bit. On again to Warren Stevens. Good pass on to Tony Tutupu. Warrington playing the ball quickly. Good to see. Willie Swan tackles centre field. He's 10 yards. That's the last tackle. It's on this time to the Warrington standoff. That was Kelly Shelford. Warrington chase is good. Shelford, the kicker, puts the fullback down. Warrington are going to have to move in quickly here, and they do. There's Beckett. The score of 2 tries this afternoon in the opening 20 minutes. Can't keep his footing there. I'm not certain who that was. May well have been Hinson. But the tackling is good. Keeping the Australians penned inside the 20. They break out this time. Good tackle again. The referee again telling Warrington to stay on side. That's the last. Surely a long kick ahead, or are the Australians going to open it up? I would look for a kick here, and there's one coming. Good one too. Over the head of Roper. It goes into touch just on the 10-yard marker from the try line. Now, not too much wind here at Wilderspool, but that was a really good kick. That was a good 50-yard touch finder. As the Packs walk slowly back to the mark. The referee, of course, the first man there, talking to Paul Sculthorpe. I don't know why. Could be telling him a joke, I don't know. And neither side appears to want to form up. They both do eventually. Warrington's head and ball. The referee talking to the front rows. Australians offside there, I think. Sculthorpe is going to use the blind side. The referee's given a penalty. Bit of kidology there from Breers. He kept that ball in the pack. The Australians move forward. That was a rugby union ploy, really. Good kick as well from Breers. Willie Swan for the second phase. On to George Mann. And some of these Australians are finding it difficult to keep the footing. Swan again. Shelford. On to Stevens. Tackled the moment he gets the ball. Willie Swan again. Tony Tutupu this time. This big rangy second row forward that Warrington have. Offside. The crowd enjoy that. They would argue the Australians have been offside the whole game. I wouldn't like to say. I'm not a biased commentator. Lee Breers is going to kick for goal. No, in fact, Shelford. It may well be Shelford as the captain for the day. I thought it was Sculthorpe, but Shelford tells Breers to put that into touch, so Warrington have got chances now. Gary Chambers. Tackle there, 10 yards out. Willie Swan at dummy half. Again on to Stevens, who loses the ball. Knock on. Scrum down. Australian head and ball. So Warrington really, well, they had a chance with 6 tackles inside the 20. Stevens far too eager. Wasn't a difficult pass to take, but he snaps at it, the ball goes to ground, and the try really goes begging for Warrington. So the Panthers throwing the ball around inside their own 20, and Warrington have got to make these tackles count. Shelford missed one there, but Salesi Fino was there to assist. Good tackle from Sculthorpe, top and tail. Sculthorpe and John Roper. Good tackling this time for Warrington. The Australians come out. Super tackle this time from Tony Tutupu. Really knocked the player down well. That was an interesting pass. You could see that Phil Adamson there was looking at the Warrington player. Warrington player not expecting him to kick. Kick ahead. John Roper, that's going to go over the try line. Is it going to go dead? It's going to be another try for the Australians, I think. That ball skidded on the turf but stopped. That'll be another try, I think, for the Australians. 20 points to 0. The try has been awarded. And that came really from Phil Adamson. He was looking at the Warrington player as he passed the ball left. Warrington player not expecting the ball to go, but that try really came from nothing. And two tries, I would argue, that scored by Penrith Panthers have been two fairly easy ones, and that certainly was. Definitely against the run of play. And it's 20 points to 0 already with just 25, 26 minutes gone here. There doesn't appear to be that much a gap between the two sides, but in points there certainly is. There's 20 of them now. 4 tries to the Panthers, none yet to the Warrington team. And it's going to be Ryan Girdwood again for the kick. I had the impression after about 5 minutes play that Warrington were going to do well in this game. They may well still do so, but it's not looking good at the moment for the Wolves. And there we see the Australians making a mound of sand again with water, making it into a mud pie to place the ball on. And not an easy kick. 10 yards into just to the left of the post. Again placed bullet style. And the rain coming down here at Wilderspool. Handling is difficult. Some of the Australian side are finding it difficult to keep the footing. And Andrew Hinton still stretching the hamstrings down below us. I think he was hurt after about 5 minutes play, but he's still on the field. Floats this one in 22 points to 0 in favour of the Penrith Panthers. Remember the last time the Warrington side lost 7 on the run. Greers on again to Chambers. The tackling really is super. Chambers does well, in fact. He makes another couple of yards. Willie Swan at dummy half. On to Foster. Warrington finding it difficult to get out the 20. Foster just manages to do so. Swan again, using the narrow side. On to Stevens. A little bit too eager, Stevens, this afternoon. Dropped a couple of passes already. Tony Tutupu has to grab at that ball. Loses it again. That ball goes backwards, says the referee. I think we saw that quite clearly. Frears. On to George Mann. Warrington can't get away. That's the last tackle. Frears will kick. Frears does kick, but it goes directly into touch. Nothing going right for Warrington at the moment. That's going to be the turnover. So the Panthers are going to have a chance to attack the Warrington line again. Carl McNamara. Good tackle this time from Gary Chambers. Number 2 front row players for Warrington. Phil Adamson. The Australians moving inexorably forward. Moving this ball well, using the open side. Beckett drops that. 2 knock-ons. The referee will give the first, and we can see that he does. That will be a scrum down. That will be Warrington's head and ball. Half an hour gone here at Wilderspool. 22 points to 0 in favour of the Australian Penrith Panthers. We had a very disappointing season last year in the Australian League, but in the Super League that started up in Australia this year, they certainly won their opening 4 games. Warrington lost their opening 3. So Lacey Fino trying to push these players off, plays the ball quickly. Mark Foster again. None of the Warrington forwards in evidence at the moment. Willie Swan. On to Stevens. Stevens releases George Mann. George Mann can't get away. Australian tackling is good. Willie Swan again, going on his own on the blind side. Put down just short of the halfway line. Kilthorpe. On to Breers. Little kick ahead by Breers. It's a good one too. Got to be a good chase. Taken eventually by Craig Gower. Tackle there by Mark Foster. A bit of a bang on the back of the head. He smiles at Foster. Or did he barely speak at him? I don't know. Lee Breers as well. The longer this game is going, the better the Australian side are handling the ball. And Warrington now, well, being run ragged really. That's Tony Tutupu with Willie Swan. Lee Breers got a bit of a knock in that tackle. Good break. Super break coming in from Jody Gale, but a good tackle on him. And the Warrington fullback, Chris Rudd. The Panthers now, every time they get the ball, are looking dangerous. Long pass this time to the arms of Beckett. Oh, beautiful handling from the Australians. That ball eventually goes into touch. We saw Beckett coming inside, immediately handing the ball on. Scrum down, Penrith Panthers head and ball. Touch the Warrington player. Takes the referee, so the danger is still there for the Wolves. Just on the 10-yard marker, 20 yards in from touch, so Warrington are going to have to defend again just before half-time. 31-32 minutes gone. Simple try. Jody Gale scores to the left of the post. 26 points to 0. And the two Warrington players arguing with each other there. We don't want to see that. We don't want the heads to drop, but 26-0 already. 32 minutes gone here at Wilderspool. 8 minutes to go to the break. And Warrington really now, well, they've conceded 5 tries in the opening half hour. And how many times have we seen that in the Super League this year with Warrington? They're averaging over 32, 33 points against. It is the worst defence in the league. And for many, many years, of course, Warrington were renowned for very strong defence. A good cut-fighting side as well. Always been in the top flight of Warrington, but it's a poor season for them this year. Really out of sorts. They've lost the coach, of course. Donald van der Velde has only really just taken over, only 5 or 6 games ago. And he really has got a lot of work to do. There's not too much money to spend at Wilderspool either for new players. But the saving grace, I think, for the Wolves is they've got a good academy side, they've got a good crop of youngsters. But it takes time, of course, for the youngsters to be brought home. This surely will be 28-0 when Ryan Girdler adds the 2 points. He's quite amazed if he misses this. And he doesn't. 28 points to 0 in favour of the Panthers. And we've still got about 5 minutes to go to the break. And we hope the Warrington heads don't drop. As in patches again, they've looked good, but we've said that on so many times on commentary this year. In patches, Warrington have looked good. But they've only played really well on a couple of occasions, I would argue. Once against Wigan and once at Castleford, when Warrington had a good victory. But they really have been below par. Tringaritis coming on, and it's going to be Warren Stevens coming off. I would say Gerritus, but obviously the man on the tannoy knows better than I do. He's employed by the club. Gary Chambers. Wholehearted player is Chambers. On again to Mark Foster. Offside again. There's Mr. Connolly. The Australian team would be well advised not to challenge this referee. Now this is a kick which may well join us on the gantry. Going to take a step backwards. Just misses us in fact. 28 points to 0 in favour of the Panthers. The Wolves have yet to open their account. George Mann does well, does George Mann. Plays the ball quickly. That's the Wellington hooker, Willie Swan. Good break from him. There's Geraitis coming in for his first touch. Does well, this Sean Geraitis there. A lot of upper body strength. Wellington wants to score. The Panthers coming out so quickly. Braves can't release the ball. It speaks to really of Australian Rugby League how well he tackled. Onto Swan. And Wellington going to score. Female tackle just short. That's the last tackle. What are Wellington going to do? They're going to hand this down, and Geraitis will score, I think. Has the try been awarded? I think the referee has, so Wellington has scored. And I think that was Sean Geraitis. It was. He's been congratulated by his colleagues. Penrith Panthers with the tunnel. Warrington 4 points, Penrith Panthers 28. That was a good try. It had to be scored. Ball handed along on the line, on the touch tackle. There was Geraitis. Just managed to get the ball over the line. He's given Lee Braze a video conversion attempt, but Lee Braze won't argue with that. So Warrington have opened their account. And they've looked like doing that on a couple of occasions, but certainly a couple of times that Warrington have conceded have been very straightforward ones indeed. One was a kick ahead that just stopped on the try line. Another one was an interception. So perhaps 28 points to 4 isn't a fair reflection of the difference between the two sides. Having said that, Penrith Panthers look a very talented outfit, as all these Australian teams do. And there is still a gulf between British Rugby League and the Australian game. Wasn't always that way. Good kick. What a super kick from Lee Brays, right from the touchline. That really was a good Warrington match, one of the best kicks I think we've seen this year. Right on the touchline. Brays lined it up, straight between the posts. It is, it's Hawaii 5-0, Diane tells me on the gantry. Hawaii 5-0. That was a super kick from Lee Brays. Another wholehearted player. Only 18 years of age is Lee Brays, but he's an international in the making. A full international, I mean. Foster's in there immediately with Nigel Vigano. And the Warrington crowd beginning to get behind their favourite. 28 points to 6, it's all not yet lost. Warrington have got to put in a good stint of tackling. And this Phil Adams, to me, looks a real strong, rangy forward. Still getting the ball away, these Australians. Warrington must plant this ball. Because the Australians really are having 8 or 9 tackles when it should only be 6. That's the last, says the referee, Mr. Connolly. Kick ahead, one right up in the air. This is a too far forward. Who's going to take it? Interference there, surely. The referee right on the spot. I agree with his decision there. I don't always agree with referees, but certainly there we could see quite clearly on camera interference as the Warrington player going to take that ball. Brays, good kick from Brays, right into the Brian Bevan stand, taken well in fact in the second row. Willie Swan, second phase, on to Salati now. No head of steam at all. George Mann. Warrington will be looking to George Mann to lead from the front. Warrington this time switching the line of attack. Onto Stilford, he can't quite get away. Interference there, surely, but the referee says no. Warrington again using the outer side, Gary Chambers. Warrington are getting strong as the game goes on. Willie Swan, good kick from Swan. 12 or 13 yards from touch, scrum down. Penrith Panthers head and ball. Well, Warrington really over the past 10 minutes or so have had territorial advantage. The game really has been played inside the Penrith Panthers half of the field, but Warrington have only got one try and a super conversion to show for it. But they're only 22 points down. Anything can happen in this game. So the packs go down again. Ball out from the Penrith side. Warrington back, coming in quickly. There was a break on here. Including Jorgensen, in fact. Yes, I think it was, in fact. Knock on. Warrington quite happy with that. That was a result, a consequence really of good Warrington harrying and good tackling. Warrington would like to score again just before half-time to reduce this deficit. Is it a time move on here? Salford talking to Brays. The stand-off communicating with his scrum half, and in fact Warrington using the other side. Toby Foster going towards the line. That's Foster scored. The referee talking to the touch kick. Has he scored? A score called C as the referee giving the call. Yes, he has. Foster scored for Warrington. Warrington reduced the deficit 28 points to 10. That was a really good onside move. But no more than a double block for Shelly Shelford to Lee Brays. As if to say to the Australian side, we're going to use the open side of play. They didn't do that. Paul still got the lead forward, handing on to Brays. A long pass eventually in the ones with Mark Foster, who just managed to scrape over the line. And Warrington has scored 2 tries in 5 minutes. With 28 points to 10. Another difficult kick for Lee Brays, but if it's anything like the one he kicked a couple of minutes ago, he'll have no problems with this. But it's a difficult kick again. It's the right side of the field for him, because with being a right-footed kicker, of course, his trajectory will tend to take the ball into the post rather than across the face of them. And the ball placed on the on the plastic. Another good kick from Burrows, just to the right of the post, but a good kick again. 28 points to 10. Are we going to see a turnaround in this game? With about 2 minutes to go to the break, Warrington really have hit back with a vengeance. A try on either wing, and Mark Foster did very well there. With 3 or 4 yards to go to the try line, surrounded by Australian players, managed to make it, and Warrington have scored 2 tries. Breers again. Good long kick from Breers. You can see now there's a real spring in the Warrington step. Good tackle from Warrington there. A 3-man tackle. Pushes the Australian player back. Stops him in his tracks. But this time the ball not clamped. And Warrington want to make sure that they keep the Australians out just before half-time. They've got a chance. With only 28 points to 10. That was a tackle missed there. That's 3 gone. Poor pass, no problem for John Roper. Referee again telling Warrington to stay on side. They're coming in quickly. Roper in again. That's the last tackle. This was directing operations, but the Australians opening this up. Half a break, getting the ball away again, and surely not another try. Good tackle. That ball goes backwards. Super play from the Australians. And that's going to be Craig Gower who will score. I would argue that the tackle was effective, that the Australian player was on the ground. Certainly the referee, in fact, I was right. I did believe, in fact, myself, the tackle was effective, and there was a knock-on. The referee, of course, talking to the official behind the try line. I really was quite surprised the referee allowed that to go on. Having said that, the try's been disallowed, and a good decision too. And I don't say that because I'm being biased. I'm quite convinced the referee had not seen exactly what had went on, but he did well. He talked to one of his officials, and the try disallowed. 28 points to 10 remains the score. Knock on. Finau's lost the ball, so Warrington have got it all to do again just before half-time, and I'm sure the Warrington players and the spectators will be hoping that the hooter goes before this ball can be spun along the line by the Australian side. And here it is now, again changing the line of attack. And the hooter goes. A bit of an altercation there between Jody Gall and Paul Sculthorpe. So a good 10 minutes for Warrington there with a hook back there. 28 points to set at half-time. A very entertaining game. I don't think that 18 points is the difference between the two sides, but there it is. We hope you're enjoying this match on video, so it's Jim Kidd saying join us again in about 10 minutes' time. Warrington really have got chances here. If they can stiffen up the defence, or if they can make sure they see out each set of 6, Warrington have got a chance, I think, in this second half, and surely that's what the Warrington coaching staff have been saying to them at half-time. Jonathan Roper. Got a good game as Jonathan Roper, in fact. He almost breaks away there. To Willie Swan, George Mann, on eventually to Tony Tutupu. George Mann again, this time at dummy half. There's going to be a kick this time from the Warrington loose forward, Paul Sculthorpe. It's a good kick too. It's going to go into touch there, just on the 20. So Warrington really with the tails up, 28 points to 10 down, of course, with 2 good tries scored by Warrington. One by Sean Garaitis and the other one by Mark Foster just before half-time. That brought Warrington right back in this game. But this time it's going to be a scrum down. I'm looking to see if Warrington brought in any substitutes, and certainly Corey Love is on the left wing. I can't see Mark Foster. That's a penalty immediately. Not a good one. Really, if Warrington had been in position more quickly, they may well have taken that ball. But Corey Love on the left wing. I can't see Mark Foster at the moment. He's obviously gone off. Warren Stevens not on the field either, I don't think, and that's Sean Garaitis who takes his place. Garaitis gets involved immediately. Good tackle for Warrington there. A 3-man tackle. McNamara at dummy half. Going on his own. put down there, just short of the 20. Warrington are going to have to move in quickly. The Australians not playing that ball as fast as they have played it, and that's number 50, Jody Gow, going forward. And the referee again telling Warrington to stay on side. Half a break here, good tackling there, that's the last tackle. What are we going to see? Penalty to Warrington, not playing the ball properly. Not playing the ball properly, and that's going to be a penalty to Warrington. So Lee Brace for the first phase put this ball into touch. Good kick as well from Brace, he really does kick well from his hand. With a couple of minutes gone in the second half, 28 points to 10 in favour of the Australian outfit. But Warrington have had chances. A couple of the Australian tries too were somewhat against the run of play. Sculthorpe spinning around in that tackle, can't get away. Chris Wood at dummy half, onto Garaitis. And he loses that. He's got a two-man tackle. Nothing wrong with that, says the referee. The Australians come away with the ball. They've got chances here. Nothing. So it's all happening at Huddersfield. Poor handling there from both sides, really. But I think if Warrington scored again, they've got chances. The Garaitis has gone, in fact, into the second row. We can see that Garaitis is partnering to Tupu in the second row. Paul Sculthorpe a loose forward. Ball out on the Warrington side. Trying to get the Australians offside, in fact. And Lee Brace for half a break. Does well, this Brace. But he slightly builds from half. On again. This time that ball goes loose, but it goes backwards. That was Chris Rudd, in fact, coming in to make the extra man from the full-back burst. George Mann. Warrington making inroads into this Australian defence. That's Willie Swan. Willie Swan does well. Gets the ball around to Sculthorpe. That's hit by an Australian player. Goes backwards again. Surely that'll be six. Six again as Finau gets up. Finau doing very well indeed, and a high tackle. 6 tackles again for Warrington. Tortoy Love at dummy half. Trying to get away. Can't quite do so. So the Warrington crowd, a lot of them have gone to the old Spain top end now. And Shelford, Sculthorpe puts ahead. Is it going to go into touch? It's taken by the Australian. That's in fact going to be a tap on the 20. But Sculthorpe there kicking on the second tackle again. One wonders why he did that. Had he scored a try, of course, I wouldn't have complained, but Warrington really threw 4 tackles away. It's happened on a number of occasions. Well, the Australians back in possession, so a bit of a purple patch for the Wolves there. They didn't manage to score a try, but it looked good. And the tackling has got to be top class in this second half to keep the Australians out. Good handling from the Aussies there. But Lee Brace is involved. 37 on his back. But this time, half a break. Just breaks into the Wolves half of the field. The Panthers this time using the narrow side. Good tackle again from Salesi Finau. His defence, I think, over the past couple of years, over the past couple of weeks, has been a feature. Crossfield kick. And it's still in the hands of an Aussie player. Still going towards the try line. He still hasn't finished yet. The Australians still trying to get the ball away. This time in the hands of Corey Love. You can see the Australians there wanting to keep that ball alive. Sculthorpe in the loose forward burst. Does well. He's stretching the better part of Bella. Manages to hold on. This time it's Chambers. Garaitis again. Looking good as Garaitis. 19 years of age, I think. George Mann can't get the ball away. And Warrington finding it difficult to make ground. This time it's Willie Swan. It's on to Tony Tutupu. He's looking around for support. Ball clamped again. That's 4 in this play. But Warrington are giving as good as they're getting in the second half. Kick this time by Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe does well. Goes into the Australian player. That surely is going to be an offside decision in favour of Warrington. But Warrington willing to take this ball quickly and go. The referee won't allow him to do that. So it's Brace for the first kick, and it's a good kick by Lee Brace as well. So Warrington beginning to come back into form, I would argue. They've looked good in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. George Mann just breaks into the 20. Warrington using the forwards to good effect, using the other side this time. On eventually to turn to Tupu. Coming in at pace, does well with Tupu. He gets to within 10 yards of the Australian line. The Ghana this time. Onto Shelford. Onto Chambers. Chambers hits the ground. 11 yards out. Warrington using the other side again. Kick ahead by Scofield. It's going to have to be kicked away by the Australian. And there will be a kick in between the posts. So Warrington really putting this Australian defence under all kinds of pressure at the moment. It's good to see. Because Warrington, of course, is a team that's taken a lot of criticism in the past month or so. But at the moment, they're looking at top-class Super League side. But they've got to put this pressure into points. It's got to be converted into tries. There's still 18 points adrift, but I don't think the Australian side at the moment knows what's hit them in the second half. One up in the air. Breers has got a hand on to Garaitis. Garaitis has got to come in at pace. He does well, but he's tackled well too. Willie Swan at dummy half. Swan on his own. Full of running. Is the Warrington hooker this afternoon. Surely interference there, but notices the referee. On to Gary Chambers. A smother tackle on Chambers. Still ACP now. He's going to go on his own. It's still ACP now. He's trying to get away. He has it into Shelford. Shelford goes towards the line. He can't quite get away there, in fact. Warrington looking good for a throw here. Into Breers. Breers trying to get the ball away. That's the last tackle. What are Warrington going to do with this? Surely grab a kick ahead. Shelford a kick ahead. Goes over the top. And Warrington scored. Now it's going to be cut out again from between the posts. So everything happening here at Warrington at the moment. And Warrington are looking good. They're putting this Australian defence under all kinds of pressure. They've not converted this pressure into points in the second half. But I'm sure only time will tell. So the Australian side really now thinking, well, we were 28 points to nil in front midway through the second half. We're not at the moment. It's 28-10 and Warrington are looking good. Jonathan Roper. Had a good game as Roper. Great Britain tourist, of course, last year. On to Garaitis. Garaitis does well. A strong running forward. He's said it so many times. Warrington have got a good crop of youngsters. On to Chambers. Chambers trying to get the ball away. Warrington do well. George Mann inside to Tony Tupu. That ball's flat, but Tupu's still moving forward. Warrington doing well. That's 3 tackles done. On to Willie Swan. On to Shelford. Shelford this time. On to Schofield. The ball goes loose. That ball goes loose again. Referee not happy with that. No, says Mr. Connolly. Come down. Penrith Panthers having ball, so all the pressure comes to naught. And the Australians there surely breathing a sigh of relief. Because Warrington nearly scored on 2 or 3 occasions, and that really would have put the cat amongst the pigeons. But the tackling has got to be good now. Good tackling there. Bridgewood coming in from the full-back there to assist the Ghana. Willie Swan. Good tackle again from Garaitis. Really does look a good prospect as a youngster. Warrington not warming up any subs at the moment. They're quite happy with the team on the field. But a Penrith Panthers going to break away and score against the run of plays. What happened in the first half on a couple of occasions. Good tackle again from Garaitis. Tackled into the chest. Plant that ball. Penalty. Willie Swan not happy with that. So by dint of penalties, Penrith Panthers moving forward. And as Warrington lost a chance. Not particularly good kicking from his hands by Girdle, but it's safe. Doesn't make too much ground. David Alexander come off the bench for his first touch. And the Australians moving forward now. That's McNamara. Just inside the Warrington 20. And still trying to spin this ball away. Dummy runners coming in there. I would argue a hint of obstruction, but the referee again right on the spot. So with all the pressure that Warrington had, it really would be quite a shame for them if the Australians were to score now. But they're looking good for a try. They're only 10 yards out, and they do spin this ball around well. I was going to say handle rather after forward pass. An inside pass scrum down, Warrington having ball. Warrington will get this ball back from the scrum. So, 10 or 15 minutes, the opening of this second half. It's been all the Wolves. They really have looked good with the ball in their hands. They've attacked with a vengeance inside the 20, but as yet they've not scored. So it's Lee Breers to put this ball in. As the rain comes down now, it's very difficult to handle this ball. Breers can't keep his footing. It's on to Salacy Finau. Finau's trying to push off the Australian tacklers. That's Chris Rudd. Nigel Bagana. I haven't seen too much of Nigel Bagana. The Super League's leading try scorer, of course. George Mann again. Wellington supporters saying that the Australians are offside. It's Willie Swan does well after Geraitis. Tackle round the head. The chest, there's the referee. Willie Swan again, Tony Tutupu. Trying to get away, nobody really with him. Gets the ball away. Just down into Willie Swan. Willie Swan moving across to the other side. Nobody with him. It's the last tackle. The referee hinted us to give a penalty. Breers trying to get the ball away onto Roper. He has given a penalty. The referee was waiting for the advantage. Not a clue. Warrington player pushed off the ball. Surely Breers will put this into kick. Kelly Chambers gets a warm round of applause as he goes off as the rain comes on. Really coming down here to Wilderspool now. William Stevens back on the field. So Wellington have got chances again. Lee Breers taps it onto Mann. Mann still going forward, but he's tackled out about 5 yards out. Wellington going to have to spread this. Breers again, the Australian screaming out. Breers still going forward, trying to get the ball away. He couldn't get the ball onto Krishna. Very nearly another try for Wellington. On again to Willie Stevens. There's well to hold that one. Stevens getting the ball onto Scothorpe. Scothorpe onto Bagana. Bagana just tackled inches short of the try line. Willie Swan. Is this going to be a try? Yes, it is. Has Wellington scored? It looks to me like Torquay love. The referee gives the try. Wellington getting closer to the 28th by Penrith Panthers. That is Torquay love. And that was Wellington spinning the ball along on the other side. 28 points to 14. And what a turnaround we've got in this game. If it carries on like this, we're going to lose the ball. I think we can hear from the channel that Wellington did score again. The crowd goes quiet again, but a really top-class performance at the start of the second half from the Wolves. And they've not really allowed the Australian side to do anything. As he takes it, very super touch in goal. Penrith Panthers 28, Wellington 19. So the only 12 points is making as we did start half-time and we didn't really believe. But an 18-point gap is a fairly reflected of the way Wellington have played in the first half. It's 28 points to 16. And the crowd getting behind Wellington now. They really are. Good tackling there from Stevens and from George Mann. And it seems like an age since the Australian out can have the ball in their hands, but he's spinning it along well now. Good tackling there from Paul Scothorpe. Just down below us on the gantry. Australians trying to get this ball away. George Mann involved. That's 3 gone, but they've made a good 50 yards. I think the Australians are a little bit, that ball goes loose. Goes back to the referee. No knock on, but that's 4 tackles. Warrington have got to move in quickly. That surely is the last. And the referee raises his arm aloft. Penrith Panthers are going to be forced to kick this across field one. It's a good one too. That's going to be taken well by Roper. Roper does well. Trying to get away. Playing the ball quickly. And it's on this time of Chris Rudd. He's had a good game of Chris Rudd. Even though playing the fullback, he's had a lot of the ball. Willie Swan onto Stevens. Stevens, a high tackle on him there. Kelly Telford. Oh, Wellington lose it this time. And that's going to be another try, and that's the second time this afternoon that the Panthers have had a walk in. And really Wellington were looking good on the narrow side there. The ball goes to ground, the Panthers score. Congratulations to them, but it's 32 points to 16. And I really believe that Warrington could have got closer. They may well still do so. But a walk-in try, Penrith Panthers 32 points, Warrington 16, very much against the run of play again. And I would argue that certainly 3 of the tries that Penrith Panthers have scored were fairly straightforward ones and perhaps shouldn't have been scored. That means to say that Warrington may well have been on parity, but they're not. The 16 points adrift, it may well be, if Ryan Girdler can kick this goal, well, certainly will be 18 points adrift. But Warrington have given a lot to this game, certainly a much better performance than we've seen over the past month or so. And they've looked good with the ball in their hands, they've tackled well, they've handled superbly. Close to the line, they really have thrown the ball around well. So Ryan Girdler for the conversion attempt. As the Australian swing on a substitute, I'm not quite certain who this is. Ill man of wrestling, don't like to see that. Kicks the goal. Warrington Wolves 16, Penrith Panthers 34. But I would argue that's not a true reflection of the game, as certainly as I've seen it. And Warrington have still got chances, at 18 points adrift. Probably about, I don't know, 15, 16 minutes to go in this game. They can still get close, and Warrington can be quite happy with the performance. And certainly 2 of the tries, possibly 3, I think, should never have been scored. And that would mean really that Warrington would probably only be about 6 points down at the moment, with everything to play for. That ball goes loose. Taken by Willie Swan. Had a good game as Willie Swan this afternoon. Got up, says the referee. Not fooled by that, is Mr. Connolly. Top class international referee. Willie Swan onto Sculthorpe. That's charged down. Taken well by Walter. Walter surely will release, I was going to say release Finau. Doesn't do so. Finau going forward this time. Good tackle on him. Pitch again from Warrington. Onto Stevens. Can't get the ball away. You just turn round Stevens, looks like every time to try and hand on. Here's Paul Sculthorpe. And Warrington really are handling this ball. I was going to say handling it on well, but not that time. But they're still willing to pass. The kick ahead by Chris Wood. Fairly aimless one, in fact. Taken well. The Penrith Panthers back in possession. But a very entertaining second half. It really has belonged to Warrington. Only 2 sides have scored, one apiece, but Warrington, I think, have looked the best of the 2 sides in the second half. But there's a break on here. Can't quite put the Penrith player into touch. Penrith using the open side of the field now, long passing. Warrington slide, defence doesn't slide. Went to the cover, defence comes across. There's a couple of offsets, a penalty. Nigel Begana, the Australians, taking it very quickly indeed. Going towards the try line. So Australians now in the echelon, attacking formation. Referee telling Warrington to stay on the line. Not a good pass. Still trying to get the ball away. Tackle just in front of the post. 34 points to 16. Warrington don't want to go even further behind now. A long pass this time, and there's going to be a try scored, I think. Has the try been scored? Yes, it has. Looks to me as if it may well be Jody Gall. The try has been scored, in fact. It's 38 points to 16. So with all the pressure that Warrington had, the Australians have hit back well. I'm not quite certain who it was. It may well have been McNamara, possibly Jody Gall. It's not one of those two, it's going to be Phil Addington, but I can't quite see his number. Be able to see that as he walks back. But Warrington really have given a lot to this game. There's 22 points adrift. It was in fact McNamara who scored. Warrington 22 points adrift, but I would argue that's not a fair reflection of the way the Warrington Wolves have played this afternoon. But let's not take it away from this Penrith Panthers outfit. What a top-class side they are. They certainly had 15 minutes of heavy pressure on their own line. They've hit back well and scored 2 good tries. And it's Ryan Girdler again for the kick. This is a difficult one. But I think the Warrington supporters have seen a different performance from the favourites this time. And we've seen some good things. We've seen some players who really have played with pride this afternoon. They've played the ball very quickly. It's tackled well by and large. And Tony Thornley, or Highton, no, it'll be Highton's coming on. That's a good kick. A super kick for the Penrith Panthers, break the 40 mark. As Highton comes on, I'm not quite certain which Warrington player is going to go off. We'll tell you shortly. Highton coming on the field. We can't see a number. It may well be Sculthorpe, in fact. I'm not certain. No, it's number 37. And 37 for Warrington is Lee Brace. Lee Brace doesn't want to come off, I don't think. It is 37, in fact. So a long restart on this time to Jonathan Roper, who's played very well this afternoon indeed. Just breaks to 20. On to Chris Rudd. Seen a lot of the ball of Chris Rudd. Playing in the full-back berth owing to an injury to Lee Penny. On to Stevens. Warrington forwards coming in well for the drive. George Mann gets it away, eventually onto the Warrington number 7, Willie Swan. Paul Sculthorpe, kick ahead by Sculthorpe. Does well, Sculthorpe. Oh, he can't keep the ball. That's a knock-on. In fact, Tony Thornley's coming on. It's not Highton, Tony Thornley, so I presume that Chelford will go, I would imagine, to scrum half. Bagana will come in the stand-off berth. That's what's happening at the moment. I can see the players moving around. Thornley's gone in the left centre position. So the scrum half for Warrington is now Shelford, Nigel Bagana at stand-off. And super passing there from the Penrith Panthers. Changed the line of attack 3 times. Sculthorpe comes in there to put the play to ground. Willie Swan and George Mann in attendance there. The referee telling the Warrington players to get off the man out to play the ball. They do so very quickly. Willie Swan does well. Using the narrow side again. That's Tony Tutupu. That's 4 gone. 2 left in this play. Spinning the ball well. Long spin passes. Kick ahead. Fairly straightforward, really, I would think, for Chris Rudd. Does well with Chris Rudd. Slightly out of position, but he got back into position very quickly. And it's Jonathan Roper. Really would like to see Roper in the clear. Runs like a train. On to Stevens. Stevens loses the ball again. Australians take the ball under the post. 3rd time that's happened this afternoon. Stevens loses the ball in the tackle. Penrith Panthers score 44 points to 16. So I would argue that 18 points that the Penrith Panthers have had, they shouldn't have had really, but that's the way the game goes. And you have to take your chances, and the Australian side have certainly done that this afternoon, and good luck to them. Warren Stevens again. I was about to have a few moments about Stevens, because he really is a very talented player. He does lose the ball at, well, promising moments really, this Stevens, but the way he comes in, he really wants to play for this club. I'm sure that Stevens has got a big future ahead of him at Warrington. Perhaps some work should be done with him on the training ground to do with handling, because Stevens likes to hand the ball on, and I like to see a forward who will handle the ball, not just a forward who will drive and die with it. Stevens does like to handle the ball, but at the moment he appears to me to be in 2 minds as to whether to go down and make the 10-yard drive or whether to try and release another player coming on. Having said that, he's a good prospect, and he shouldn't be disappointed that he's got the ball 3 or 4 times this afternoon. He's going to have games like that, of course, he's bound to do. And he'll have games where he won't make a mistake at all. So, that's another 2 points for the Penrith Panthers, 46-16. Certainly not a true reflection of the way this game has been played. Warrington have given a lot to it. The Panthers have hit back well, however, and they've taken the chances, and that's what any sport is about, particularly rugby league. But I don't think they're 30 points better than Warrington at the moment. And that isn't bias, I think that's being objective. So the Panthers to kick off. A good kick from Gidler. That ball eventually taken by Garaitis, who really does look a top-class prospect as well. Warrington have a really good crop of youngsters. And here's Stevens again. Does well this time. He tries to spin around and release somebody else, and when it comes off, it's a joy. When it doesn't, he loses the ball. So I think some coaching tracks needed there for Warren Stevens, but he really does enjoy his rugby league. Tony Tutupu, good break from Tutupu, does well. Gets to within 9 or 10 yards of the halfway line. On again to Schoolthorpe. Offside says the referee. Offside says the referee, and my team list at the moment is wet through with the rain coming into the gantry. Both Schoolthorpe's had a cracking game as well for Warrington. Willie Swan. In fact, nobody's played badly at all this afternoon. They've all given something to this game. Nigel Vergana does very well. Vergana gets to the 20. There's Garitis. These Warrington youngsters really are enjoying playing. Garitis does very well. He gets to within 9 yards of the try line. Schoolthorpe at dummy half. He's going to go on his own. He deserves a try. He can't quite score. Warrington really did deserve to score again. Willie Swan is trying for Warrington. Surely the referee will allow that try. It is Willie Swan. No more than the man deserves. No more than Warrington deserves. It's 46-20. And Warrington really should be a lot closer than the score. And you can see the Warrington crowd there have been flanked up and they're very happy with that. And that again was the right to put the Schoolthorpe close to the line with real determination to score. The blue bridge has gone on. It's going to be Chris Rudd, another very talented goal kicker, to take this kick. I think with Chris Rudd's goal kicking, of course, as the ball really goes very high in the air. And he places the ball, in fact, straight upwards on the mound of sand. 46 points to 20. Good performance from Warrington. Good performance from Penrith. But Warrington really have been unlucky. There again, Penrith Panthers have taken the chances. Well played to them. Chris Rudd, as the ball goes very high in the air, as you can see, what we forecast. He strikes the 2 points. It's 46-22. Just trying to work out what the music is coming from the channel. It's about as certain the eyes of Lucy Jordan by Manny on paper, but it isn't. Chris Rudd again. Long restart. Warrington really with the tails up. They really have played well this afternoon. No criticism of them at all. And it's good to see that with the new coach, Van der Velde, as they get together, Warrington are beginning now to play as a team. They're beginning to tackle better. They're beginning to put the ball carrier down. And here's a chance now for, in fact, the ball carrier puts himself down as he slips over on a very greasy surface here at Wildersfield. A lot of grass, in fact, on the pitch. I noticed as I walked across the field before the game. A lot of grass on this pitch. Directly into touch. Warrington's support is quite happy with it. So that will be the changeover on the 6th tackle. And it'll be Nigel Vergana with Willie Swan. 46-22. Warrington have not disgraced themselves this afternoon at all. Chris Rudd. This time on to Stevens. Stevens for the drive. There's Garitis in this time at dummy half. On to George Mann for the drive. George Mann puts the ground. Willie Swan again, the try scorer. On to Shelford. Warrington looking good here. On again to Salacy now. And it's Thornley, I think, for his first touch. Does well there. It's Tony Thornley. Makes a couple of yards there on his knees. Kick ahead by Rudd. Warrington chasing is good. Robbie Beckett puts the ground. Just short of the sideline. Warrington are going to have to move in quickly here. They want to keep the Australians inside the 20. Certainly for 4 of the 6 tackles. That's what they're attempting to do at the moment. The Australians really there. I'm going to say it's 6s and 7s, but eventually an Aussie player manages to get out over the 20. Phil Adamson. Warrington clamped the ball well. That's 4 gone in this play. That was Tony Thornley supporting a brand new haircut. Superb handling from the Australians there. Nigel Vergana. He's in with Tony Tasupu. Warren Stevens as well. That's the last. 5th and last shot for the referee. We're looking for the kick. In fact, we're looking for the knock on. Craig Gower there in 2 minds as to whether to hand on or pass, and nothing happened. He's got the ball. Warrington at the moment, in fact, looking like the side who are in the lead. They're not, of course. because they're 24 points adrift, but Warrington are looking like the side who are in the lead. Long pass. This time on is the Supu. Good tackling there from the Australians. Shelford at dummy half. On again to Warren Stevens. Stevens does well. You can see the way he just turned round there to make the ball available. That ball goes loose. That is a penalty. That wasn't Warren Stevens' fault at all. And I like to see Stevens do that. Willie Swan puts the ball into touch. A safe kick, but not a long one. Willie Swan for the first phase of the penalty. It's going to be on this time to George Mann. Nothing really happening there. George Mann not coming in at pace. The Warrington supporters would love to see another try. Warrington have scored 4 this afternoon and could have had another couple more. Brilliant break there from Silcock. Sullivan Nichols to Farley. Farley's going to score. He's going to get up and score, but he can't. As I stand up in front of the camera, I apologise to the cameraman. Can't get the ball down, but what a super break from Silcock. Not to the decision of the referee. Somebody's going to go. An Australian player is going, I think, for a professional foul. Off you go, you naughty boy. That's what thinks left over the stand at the moment. A lot of laughing on the gantry at the moment, but really sorely deserves to score after a super break from Paul Silcock. So the Aussies are down to 12. We're down to about 3 minutes, in fact. But Warrington are looking like the side who are in the lead. They really are playing well at the moment, but that's a good tackle there on Shelford. But Warrington deserves to score then. Tony Tutupu had a cracking second half as the second row forward. Willie Swan. Willie Swan wants to hand this ball on to Strokoff again, but that goes loose. And that goes loose again. First knock on. First knock on. Come down. That will be the Australian heading ball, and it is. But a marvellous break there from Schofield. Something he's been threatening to do all afternoon, and it happened. He handed the ball on to Tony Thornley, who overran it slightly. And Thornley just couldn't quite get to the line. Then there was a professional foul, and the Australians are down to 12. Well, 22 points to Warrington Wolves. 46 points to Penrith Panthers. No knock on, says the referee. Signs are still dangerous, of course, with only 12 players. They've got to throw the ball around. And they're making ground forward now, but Warrington looking pretty tired. They've had a hard sprint attack, and that ball's got to be tanked. It goes loose. Knock on, says the referee. Scrum down. Warrington heading ball this time. As a large Australian gentleman comes on with some sustenance. Non-alcoholic, I'm assured. In fact, he's coaching the Australian players at the moment. And those of you who watch Mike on videos regularly will know I've made quite a few comments about the number of coaching staff on the field, coaching players. I don't like it. I don't think it should be allowed. There again, who am I? Sculthorpe again. Onto the Garner. The Garner almost gets in the clear, but not quite. Kelly Shelford. Onto Finau. Finau makes it to the 20. Bit of a high tackling. Here's Chris Wood again from fullback. On to Shelford. Onto Garaitis. Warrington moving forward really well. Knock on. Well, I didn't see that. The referee did. Scrum down again. Scrum down. Australian heading ball. That ball obviously went loose in the tackle. But Warrington can feel very proud of themselves this afternoon. The Warrington coaching staff must be happier than they've been for some time. Because obviously what they're trying to do on the coaching ground, on the training ground, is actually now bearing some fruit. The Warrington in practice have looked really good this afternoon. And I know you can't say knock 18 points off the 46 that have been scored, but still the tries have been fairly easy ones. And I think Nigel Bagana got a knock on that tackle. He's moving back very gingerly indeed. Good tackle from Roper. Good smother tackle. The Australian's hurt. Gower there is hurt. He gets to his feet rather gingerly. That's the last. What are the Australians going to do? Are they going to kick? Yes, they are. Taken well. Is it going to be a try? Is it going to be back at third? They are going to score. Fairly straightforward try. That's 50 for the Penrith Panthers. Prize been awarded. I thought Beckett was going to score his third try, but he handed it on. I'm not quite certain to whom. But Penrith Panthers have scored 50 here at Wilderspool. They'll be happy with that. But I still believe that Warrington will be happy generally with their own performance. Certainly the Warrington side, having scored 4 tries, have given their supporters something to shout about this afternoon. They could have had 3 or 4 more. And certainly 28 points is not a true reflection of this game. Penrith Panthers certainly the best of the two sides. But Warrington are not 28 points difference, I don't think. So, he's taking this one, number 18. And it's Brad Drew, in fact. He's down as 0-0 on the, not 0-0-7, I hope. 0-0 on the score sheet. Good kick from Drew. 52-22. Defensive stoppage time now here at Wilderspool. Look a little bit disconsolate now because Warrington have given a lot to this second half. At the end of the first half, of course, they scored 2 very good tries as well. A number of Penrith Panthers players offside there, but that happens, I think, at every... Oh, my goodness. Wally Steedens puts that ball over the line. So that'll be a kick out from between the posts. 2,850, still not too many here at Wilderspool. A few more than were here for the Warrington Cronulla Sharks game. Where's that gone? Soccer style. But a number of Warrington supporters now drifting home. Well played, Warren Stevens. He came in very well indeed there with George Mann and with Willie Swan. The Aussies moving the ball along again. They want 60 if they can. The referee saying that's third. Again, changing the line of attack well. Good tackle from Tasuku and Stevens. Do very well there. They've got to put the player down, and they do. That's 4, says the referee. That's Gill. Well, Gall is his name. And a number of Australians this afternoon have found it difficult to keep the footing on a very greasy surface. And another kick ahead. Taken by Vagana. And an Australian player hurt there. He gets up again. That looks like Craig Gower. Vagana's hurt as well. Jonathan Roper. Can't make it out to 22. Willie Swan again at action half-back. Warrington still spinning it around, and it's short off again. Half a break from the Warrington loose forward. Garaitis this time, using the narrow side. On to Salesi Finau, who I think is beginning to come into form. Chris Rudd dumped unceremoniously to the ground there without the ball in his hand. Tony Tasupu. He's had a good second half too. Willie Swan. On again to Warren Stevens. Does tend to scratch at the ball a little bit, does Warren Stevens. But he's certainly got a very good future with Warrington. Sculthorpe, what up in the air. Gonna have thrown it. Taken well. Taken very well by the Australian fullback. We were practicing that before the game kicked off. The game's died a little bit, in fact. Well, it's not only died, it's over. So there's the final heater, the final score here at Wilderspool Stadium. Penrith Panthers 52 points, Warrington Wolves 22. 9 tries to the Panthers. I would say that 6 tries would have been fair. 6-4. Certainly the Panthers are better of the two sides. But the Warrington coaching staff will be very happy, I think, with the way their charges acquitted themselves today. Some good things, every Warrington play out a good game. Some very good tackling indeed. Some really good play with the ball in the hands. Warrington scored 4 tries, could have had 3 or 4 more. Certainly 3 tries that they did score, that the Penrith Panthers scored, in fact. A fairly straightforward one for Warrington mistake. So 30 points made a difference, and you can see for the first time in a number of weeks the Warrington supporters are applauding the Warrington team. And talking to some Warrington players. So good performance from Warrington. They have been beaten, but they played very well indeed. We hope you've enjoyed this match on video. If you're a Warrington supporter, surely you will take heart by his performance this afternoon. Having said that, the final score, Warrington Wolves 22, Penrith Panthers 52.